The dreaded 50-yard bunker shot. This is a shot that causes so many golfers issues. I'm going to give you some really simple instruction on this shot to get out of this situation every time. Now, firstly, really important, what club do we use? That's so important because it's going to dictate how we set up to the golf shot. Really simple way to play this shot is to choose less loft. So for me here, I've got an 8-iron. And that 8-iron is going to dictate how I set up to the golf ball. So the setup is absolutely the most important bit to this shot. So firstly, because we've got 8-iron, if we set up too square with the loft of this golf club, it's going to be really hard to get the right interaction with the ground. And if you contact that cleanly, it's going to fly miles over the green. So firstly, with the 8-iron, open the club face. Now that open the club face, one, it's going to get the sole gliding through the sand a little bit more, and two, it's actually going to help us get the right distance on the shot. The more loft we have, the less the ball is going to travel in the air, so that's really important. The 8-iron as well, playing it like a typical bunker shot, so we're going to be wider with the feet, we're going to nestle them down in the sand. Now, two key parts to playing this bunker shot with the 8-iron is we want to be one, further away from the golf ball. That's really going to help me now sit the golf club down a little bit. Now, sitting the golf club down is going to get this loft that we've opened pointing a little bit straighter towards where we want the ball to go. Because you've got an 8-iron in your hand, it's harder now for this loft, the face plane tilt we call it, of the club face to point straighter. It's a lot easier for a lob wedge to get this ball flying straight, but from here we're going to have to aim a little bit left, maybe from 50 yards, I'm going to try and aim maybe 5 to 10 yards left of target. So the feet are left, we're physically further away from the ball, the loft is open, and the ball now is positioned just ahead of centre, so pretty much in line with the heart. From there, we're going to settle the hands down, soften the knees, soft hands, and you're pretty much ready to go. Now, playing the golf shot is going to be exactly the same as a regular golf shot. You've just got to try and convince yourself you haven't got an 8-iron in your hands. Really easy way to get this done. Draw a line between your feet, and now this ball position is going to be just ahead of the centre, in line with the heart, I like to say. As we set up to the golf shot, we want to try and get the shaft in line with the line that we've just drawn in the sand. And just see if you can release the golf club and get the head of the golf club and the hands back in line at impact. What that's going to do, it's going to help us deliver that loft on the 8-iron. If we have too much lean and the hands go forward, we're taking the loft off. And the other thing we're going to do, we're going to dig the club in too much, and we want to get that skid in, that splashing motion through the sand. So at setup, we're lining up the hands with a line, the shaft's in line, and we're just going to try and release the golf club onto the line, and you can see how shallow that is, and I'm really feeling that I'm throwing the right hand at the golf shot and trying to match up that line to the shaft. Let's give this one a go. So I'm going to set up, I've got my line drawn in here. I'm going to have a few practice swings, just feeling that I'm just bottoming out the sole underneath the golf ball, aiming a little bit left, got the loft on the club, soft hands, and splash it out. So next time you're faced with a 50-yard bunker shot, get that 8-iron in your hands, put those setup points into play, and hopefully you'll have a little bit more success when playing in the sand from 50 yards. See you in the next video. Get that 8-iron in your hands, put those setup points into place, and hopefully you'll have some success from the sand.